It's Friday night, and what the fuck are you doing? I'll tell you what you're doing. You're sitting home dreaming about sweaty, built men in underwear. And who better to do it with than the Iconoclastic Wrestling Podcast? And here's your host, Iconoclast and Dick Taco.
Welcome to the next episode of the Iconoclastic Wrestling Podcast. I'm Iconoclast.
And I am your host, Dick Taco.
And let's talk about big sweaty men in underwear. As always, we have something on in the background here. We have the WrestleMania 4 tournament right now on screen. Is that Ted DiBiase?
Yeah, this is the second round. This is DiBiase in Morocco.
Okay, so before we get to talk about wrestling, we gotta talk about this. You fucking like Batman vs. Superman?
Yeah, I think Rotten Tomatoes gave it a bad break. I watched that movie so much.
Sucks.
Dude, the fight scene?
The fight scene is good.
The fight scenes
are good. But Zack Snyder is a terrible, does not understand
like storyteller? He's
yes.
a terrible storyteller.
But his version of Superman is terrible. Because he doesn't like Superman.
Well, yeah, because Man of Steel is Chris Nolan, actually, isn't it? Nolan has
lot
something
of it,
to
yes.
do with it. Yeah.
But still,
that's a good fucking movie. Man of Steel is a good movie.
Yes, Nolan directed it, Snyder wrote it. So,
yeah. I don't think Snyder's a good writer, though. He might be a good director or something.
Yes,
He's not a good writer.
He's very good. Again, did you see Rebel Moon?
Dude, I classify it as like a cross between Lord of the Rings and fucking Battlestar Galactica.
Hey, I like Battlestar Galactica.
Well, that's your fucking
The
problem.
late 70s and the reboot from 2004. But
and what was the other one? Babylon 5?
I've never watched Babylon 5, but I want to.
That was always, you always had commercials for that on during Nitro when I was in college.
But anyway, like his Batman kills people and like brands them so they get stabbed in prison.
Fucking A.
But the thing is that I understand it's supposed to be Dark Knight Returns Batman, but you can't just make that right off the bat. The reason Dark Knight Returns works is because we know who Batman are. We know what this Batman has already been through.
We're all criminals, Clark. The only difference is you have a boss.
I love Dark Knight Returns, but the thing
Who
is
do they send after you?
Snyder does not understand it. It's like his Watchmen movie that's terrible.
Which Watchmen movie?
They're both bad. The animated version looks like shit.
And the original, like the live action
one that you saw.
That's Snyder?
Yeah.
I fell asleep during that movie.
That movie's dog shit. Your sister hated it. I had her watch it with me. It's terrible. He cuts out a bunch of stuff from the movie and then puts in a sex scene where there wasn't in the comics. But anyway.
What, with Sally Jupiter's kid and...
Yes, with Silk Spectre.
I almost said Deflator Mouse.
What?
I almost said Deflator Mouse instead of the owl guy.
But
Deflator Mouse is from The Tick.
The Tick.
You know what The Tick is, right?
Yeah, of course I know who The Tick is.
One of the greatest fucking cartoons ever.
No, but I can so tell you're high when we're recording this. But anyway.
Go ahead.
But anyway, the reason Dark Knight Returns works is because we know who this Batman is. The problem is the Batman there is a veteran of like 20 years, and we don't fucking know anything he's done.
You do see the Robin costume.
Yeah, but we don't know anything about it, really.
I think you were supposed to, but then the story started to suck so bad they just killed it.
See, exactly.
Yeah.
And the fact that Zack Snyder said in an interview, Batman could get raped in prison. That could happen in my movie. Did you ever hear that?
No.
It's what he said.
Jesus H. Christ on a popsicle stick.
That's why Robert Pattinson is the best Batman and will probably never be surpassed.
What?
Robert Pattinson's the perfect Batman.
I don't know. I thought, dude, Ben Affleck was good. Christian Bale was great, obviously. Michael Keaton. Val Kilmer for one movie. George Clooney, okay, Bruce Wayne. Bad Batman. Bad Batman. No.
Ezra Miller, Flash, they're stuck in the George Clooney universe now at the end of The Flash.
Who the fuck is this? And then his tooth falls out. Remember? That's hysterical.
That movie's awful. I
wouldn't say it's awful.
I knew about that movie. I was excited for that movie when I was in 5th grade. When I was 12. When I was 11. I was as old as Barry Allen was when his mom got murdered. And when that movie came out, I was 19. It was right after my first year of high school. I watched...
Last year of high school.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't get held back that much. It was right after my last year of high school.
You get held back at all?
Or, no, it was right after my first year of college, I think.
There you go. Now you're talking.
I was 19, and then I was like, what the fuck is this? No. Oh, God, no!
I don't know how we get off on all this shit.
Oh, I did want to talk about one more thing. Last night, and I know you'll like this, because I got these for Christmas, I was telling you. I was reading the Tales of the Jedi comics from the 90s.
Really?
I was reading Ulick Keldroma and
my favorite character.
Ulick Keldroma and Kay Keldroma on Onderon during the Beast Wars. And then where I stopped, I was reading these at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
This is before Exar Kun, right?
Yeah, this is before Exar Kun. Exar Kun's later on in the series, but I just started it.
It's I always wish they would do a movie about this era. With like the Krath and all that shit.
Arca Jeth, who's their master.
Yes.
Because the reason I'm rereading these is I'm going to go play KOTOR 2 again, because I haven't played it in 5 years.
I never played KOTOR 2 that much. I beat KOTOR 1. I really enjoyed it.
KOTOR 1 sucks.
That was my college graduation present.
KOTOR 1 sucks. KOTOR 2 is amazing.
An Xbox with KOTOR and a racing game that I still have, but I can't remember the name of it.
They have because where I was reading last night, I stopped, was where they introduced Nomi Sunrider, who is, her husband's a Jedi. He gets murdered, and then she goes to train with the master he was going to train with, and then she becomes...
Nomi Sunrider, she could do battle meditation?
Yeah.
Okay. Just like Bastila Shan.
And Odan who's in the master that teaches it to
Yeah, and Satil Shan later.
Yeah, because Satil's in SWOTOR, and you didn't play SWOTOR. SWOTOR is my abusive wife of video games. She beats me. I tell her I'm going to leave. It's never going to happen again. And then every year, usually around springtime, because I usually play it during spring break, I come crawling back. And it's probably going to happen this year, too, because I've never actually played through all of the expansions. But I just want to say one more thing before we actually talk about wrestling. Wasn't Ulick Keldroma Droma your password for something at one point?
Possibly. Why would you say that on the air?
Nobody knows how to spell it.
Well, you can look it up. It's a very famous Jedi.
Well,
yeah, probably.
Ulick and Kay Keldroma.
Yeah.
Is that Demolition?
That is Demolition. That's Bob Uecker just died the other day. R.I.P. Harry Doyle from the Major League movies. Played for the Phillies for 1 year, too, in 1966.
I forget. Who was in Demolition?
Axe and Smash. That's Bill Eadie on the left, who was Axe, who once was the masked superstar, who was decent. No, he was just like a mask. He wore a mask. And he was one of the Mongols who was a tag team in the WWF in the 70s. He was Bolo Mongol. And like the Pittsburgh area. Like we're studio wrestling.
A Japanese guy at one point?
Who?
When they had like the new Demolition, they had
they brought Crush in. Brian Adams. He wasn't Asian.
From Chronic.
Yeah.
Brian Adams and Brian Clark.
Yeah, Brian Clark used to be Adam Bomb.
One of the last great WCW tag teams. Great in air quotes.
Okay, anyway. Do you want to get to the news here? Where are we starting at?
Rock's NXT promo. Didn't we talk about this?
No, because I didn't hear about it until after the show.
He was like drunk during it.
Really? What was he saying? He was saying...
He went out into the crowd, he took a guy's hat, and then he just went in and like rattled off all of his catchphrases and nicknames.
I'm telling you, it's a work. It's like they're doing something. But he's going to circle back around because he's an awesome heel.
All these fucking people that bend over backwards for the Fed. Jeez.
Did I not say CM Punk would be back the one time and he was?
Fine, I'll give you the bet. Up there's Jimmy Hart, the vampire.
Looks exactly the same.
That's why I said he was a vampire.
There's Greg, the Hammer Valentine. He looks like a fat lesbian gym teacher.
He looks like the same. He looks the same as Ricky Morton. We sure we're not the same person.
They all had feathered bangs back in the fucking 80s.
Just like Rod Stewart.
But anyway, yeah, the NXT program, I'm telling you, it's all part of an elaborate work. Because he's an awesome heel.
And if it's not, just like how, again, we already have another...
I will buy you a video game of your choice.
Deal. Just think how we have to have a bet that tonight at that TNA pay-per-view, which we'll talk about...
I'm definitely going to watch that. Look out on your phone for me to send you a link for that later.
JBL's not going to show up and clothesline Joe Hendry for the third time.
Or as your 4-year-old cousin calls him, Gendry.
Some people are saying that Cena posted a picture about the pay-per-view on his Instagram, and Cena's social media is hilarious because it never makes any sense.
He's a jagoff.
I like Cena, but he posted it, this thing there, and people are saying that they're going to have JBL show up, and then Cena's going to show up on the TNA show and stop JBL. Could you imagine that?
Oh my God, that would be huge for them, and it would be doing like another company good.
Well,
that would be awesome. I would love that.
Well, the whole purpose of this deal is just for them, NXT, to steal all TNA's people. But
oh yeah,
I mean,
Joe Hendry's going, Jordan Grace is going. I wouldn't be surprised seeing Tessa Blanchard go.
No, Tessa Blanchard's not going. She can't. No reputable company will touch her.
Well, you say TNA isn't reputable?
Well, I guess remember.
You're like, yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
That when she showed up, apparently she was like open in the locker room to have people come and like say her thoughts to her. And all I'm thinking of is that scene in Airplane where it's all the people lining up with like baseball bats.
Calm down, get a hold of yourself.
It's like that's the thing I'm thinking
Boxing gloves, pipes, guns.
With Tessa Blanchard. That when she filmed herself taking a shit and sold it. Didn't Shotzi Blackheart do that?
I heard things, yes, but
and
anyway.
She like posted a picture of her shit with like a dollar sign with it.
Yeah, speaking of that partnership with TNA, that's signed on to be multi-year now.
Well, because I was reading this article about how like, the wrestling competition now is a tag team match because it's WWE and TNA versus AEW and New Japan, but that's not really true because it's a 3v2 handicap match. Because it's AEW, New Japan, and CMLL. Though supposedly Conan is trying to get a deal between Triple H and the Fed, or between AAA and the Fed, excuse me, which is not going to happen because no one likes AAA. But
exactly why it'll happen.
So then what? All of wrestling is going to be a 6-man tag. AEW, New Japan, CMLL versus AAA.
You don't think Penta going to WWE had something to do with that too, maybe?
Not at
some
all.
Help? Might have some help?
Not at all. Apparently, the Lucha Brothers haven't been involved with AAA for years.
Really?
Yeah, they haven't. Ever since AEW and AAA's relationship fell apart because of Conan.
What did you say about Penta's Raw debut, about the Canadian Destroyer?
I've seen... Canadian Destroyers, I've seen plenty of them. I'm not saying it's not a good move, but like people, they were fucking like having seizures over it. Because
the WWE crowd is not used to seeing that. The people that watch WWE usually don't watch AEW.
Yeah, I know that.
They're not used to
seeing it. The people who watch AEW usually watch both.
Yeah, and it wasn't the finish, but it was right before the finish. It wasn't like a Canadian Destroyer on Osprey who pops right up from it. There's a lot of that goes on in AEW that makes these moves not as special. Which is where the production and the producing of the matches.
I'm just saying, people are making so much big of a deal over it because I'm telling you, they use AI and bots to make their fan base seem way bigger because people are throwing just like the.
I'm telling you what I see.
Just like the Lexus King fans.
Me or your own eyes.
Lexus King fan club should be 0.
I understand that. He's awful. He's dreadful. He's terrible. You know what he draws in the business? Nothing. Nunca. Bubkiss.
Well, what was the one guy, Mike Graham, who said about like Ben letting go of the Radicals in WCW? They didn't draw a dime. Didn't draw a dime.
I love that picture I have where Mike Graham's face. It says never drew a dime.
Well, because he didn't draw a dime.
I know, but he said that about Jeff Jarrett. He broke 1,000 guitars, never drew a dime.
Jeff Jarrett actually did draw, at least partially.
Yeah, he drew pictures of people and sold them at a rest stop.
Shut up.
All right, but no, the Penta debut.
My world, time to leave my mark. It's my world.
Let me drop my microphone with that.
Living out in the dark.
With that horrible singing of yours. You are so fucking tone deaf. You can carry a tune with
Okay,
a book.
lead singer of Sarah's Hate.
I wasn't a lead singer. I was not a lead singer.
Who was the lead singer?
Tony S.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Dead a long time. But no, the Penta Raw debut was in San Jose, which is a large Spanish population. So I would like to see how, like, you know, if they did this in Schenectady.
Or Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, or like Scranton, you know, or Kansas City or something like that, how it would be perceived. But that's smart, though, to do it in an area like that.
Because he never cut promos in Spanish in AEW. They put him with Alex Abrahantes as the manager.
All the people that don't have to speak English go through Abrahantes. He like waits at Ellis Island for like.
No, it's this.
He waits at the border for people to come over with masks. He has masks in his hand. They bring him over to Jacksonville.
Well, because some people don't like him. They think that he's cheesy, but I loved like him and the Lucha Brothers were great.
They bring him over from Cuba 4 at a time in styrofoam cups.
Because he used to go, because Penta would like say something really dramatic, but it was in Spanish. Then Abrahantes would go, Penta says, and then he would say the promo. Because now he's with Commander.
Well, they all can't be like Shibata with his little translator gimmick, which kind of good, which really wasn't bad.
Well, because now that Samoa Joe's back.
Yeah, I heard about that. Samoa Joe returned.
I'd like to see him and Shibata be tag champs one.
That'd be good. Samoa Joe's good with anybody. Everybody he was tamped with.
Now that Samoa Joe's back, because like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is finally coming out, so he doesn't have to record for that anymore.
Yeah, he's quite the big star now.
Because he had to do that, and he had to go do Twisted Metal.
Yeah, he's Sweet Tooth, right?
Yeah.
Such a great fucking game. Those games are great. Those games are so good.
Just like Carnage Rules!
Oh my God. You just want me to keep playing the song on the show, don't you?
No one's going to copyright claim it. No one knows this band besides us.
Green Jelly. They had another video, another song called Serial Killer.
Yeah.
Cereal, and it was the Trix Rabbit going after the leprechaun from Lucky Charms. It got banned. It was like they were trying to kill each other.
That's like Popeye the
Slayer, man. Oh, don't get me started on that again.
Where he eats radioactive spinach.
Oh my God, it's awful. But anyway, what's up with you following the Corey Graves getting moved from Raw and he's back in NXT?
You don't want to work yourself into a shoot. You shoot yourself into a work shoot, brother.
What are you trying to say?
People can't seem to decide whether or not it's a work or a shoot.
Well, that's good though. Isn't that good?
I don't know. I think it's a shoot.
Like he's really pissed? Yeah, but you know what? You could always take a shoot and make it a work. You could take somebody's like real feelings and turn it into a match. Matt Hardy and Edge. I mean, it's not a good idea
CM
because
Punk,
Edge really was trying to kill him.
CM Punk, please take note.
What does that mean? That
if he had his problems with Jack Perry, he shouldn't have gone and fought him backstage like that. He should have gone to Tony and he said, listen, let's do this. Let's make this into a storyline. Let's make this into some money.
Here's what they should do. They should bring Jack Perry. This is how you get Jack Perry over as a superstar fucking babyface. Do you want a blueprint for success? I'm going to give it to you right now. And Punk's always a good heel too. So let's say Punk on the way out, because I've been saying I think this little run of his is going to be it. Like he's going to get his main event at WrestleMania and he's going to fade into the sunset. So maybe he turns into a heel on the way out. You bring in Jack Perry to WWE. You don't even bring him into NXT. You bring him right to the main roster. You have him in the background sweeping up like a janitor, you know, because that's what he fucking looks like. Hold on, and you keep doing it, and then he's always around when, like, Punk's pissed off and Punk picks on him or something. And then Perry rises up one day and then takes Punk down and beats. Oh, my God. They would produce it. You got to understand the difference between AEW and.
But I'm telling you, that's not what wrestling is.
But it
wrestling
needs
should
it.
not be this overproduced, glossy mess. That's what I don't like about Raw on Netflix. It's so over budget and so overproduced. Wrestling is not 50,000 people in a football stadium with CGI graphics and 3 different commentary teams and all this other bullshit. Oh, wow, there's Honky Tonk Man.
Yeah.
But wrestling is 500 people in a warehouse watching 2 men try to murder each other. That's pro wrestling.
No, that's because your generation doesn't know how to has something against making money. That's what it is.
Okay, Al Snow. The best was when he said that on he did a thing with on kayfabe commentaries. People sending questions. They said, Al Snow, since you judge, a wrestler's success, a good match based on how much money it draws, does that mean that you've never had a good match in your entire career?
But I'm bummed.
I know you said that he drew once at WrestlePalooza.
Yeah, but Shane Douglas and Paul Heyman had something to do with that too.
Head.
2 PLEs to be hosted in Germany and France this year. That's per Nick Khan.
Apparently,
lying son of a bitch president of WWE.
Apparently he clarified that
Randy Marsh, the son of a bitch, who calls himself a scientist.
He's a geologist.
You should really stab him and smash his fucking face in for me. And now more news.
Cody Rhodes wins PWI Wrestler of the Year. Don't agree with it. Most popular, okay. Inspirational, any one match of the year, which is bullshit.
Hold on. Let's go to the PW. Do you have the PWI awards up?
No, can you get them up?
Yeah, they're on Reddit. Hold on. Give me one.
God, it keeps like your vintage Time Crisis arcade machine keeps replaying the opening sequence.
I know. I have it on for ambience because I think it's cool. It just says insert coin.
God, it looks like Shenmue. It's like the same exact graphics.
Here we go. 2024
or
PWI.
Virtual Fighter. That's what it really looks like, is Virtual Fighter.
Well, it's around the same time. See, it says 1995. I used to play that, and I'm going to plug a famous spot down the shore right now. I played this when I was still living in Wildwood, and it was at Gateway 26 in 1995. Brutus the Barber Beefcake. There he is. This show's got ADD. But anyway, 2024 PWI Achievement Award winners. Wrestler of the Year, Cody Rhodes.
Boo.
Number 2, Gunther.
No.
Number 3, Will Ospreay. Number 4, Bryan Danielson. I would flip-flop those two. Maybe even move them up. But Gunther belongs on there too. Woman of the Year, Toni Storm.
Yep.
Liv Morgan, 2nd.
No.
Rhea Ripley, 3rd.
I'd swap those two.
Jordynne Grace, 4th. Listen to this bullshit. Tag Team of the Year, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. But when you get right down to it, they had the most exposure, pretty much.
Well, that's because they know Jade Cargill can't work to save her life. So
Number 2, Young
Bianca.
Bucks.
Okay.
3, Fraxium. Who's that?
They're on NXT. Frazier and not Joe Frazier.
Smoking Joe Frazier.
Nathan Frazier.
Yeah.
And Axiom, who used to be A-Kid.
Okay, and number 4 is a Judgment Day.
No. Are you kidding? Judgment Day? They're an insult to tag team wrestling.
But they had the belts for a good part of the year.
Yeah, but they never fucking defended
that has to count for something, though.
Yeah, but if you hold the belts for 200 days and you only defend it once, does it really count?
I don't know. Maybe not. Faction of the Year, the Bloodline, OG and new. Number 2, the Wyatt 6. They were nothing.
They are nothing. They had
shit the bed, is what I call it.
Whataburger 6. They debuted. They shot Chad Gable. They apparently they're transferring to SmackDown now.
They should transfer to I don't know.
I understand
opening up a body shop or something.
I understand this is the group that Bray Wyatt apparently handpicked, which I don't believe that, because I think Bray's got a better mind for the business, because other than Bo Dallas, none of these people seem like they can actually work. And I still think it's just them kind of profiting off his tragic death.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's never been a good idea. Number 3, the Judgment Day.
Now.
Number 4, Blackpool Combat Club / Death Riders.
I put them higher.
I would put them, if you're going to do the Bloodline number 1, I would rather do the Blackpool Combat Club number 2.
I'm telling you, for all of the issues that the Death Rider story has had, that initial moment when Claudio, where they're at All Out 2024, where Danielson defended the title against Perry, they all came out, they celebrated with him, and then Danielson turned around, Claudio hits him with an uppercut, and then they all start beating him up, and Moxley took the plastic bag. I was screaming that whole time. I couldn't believe it.
Match of the year, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania.
Boo!
Number 2, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. That was Hell in a Cell, right?
Did they specify that?
It says 10-5 is the date. It was October, I think.
I guess. I don't agree with that.
Number 3, Bryan Danielson, Swerve Strickland, 8-25. That's all in.
Great match, but not the best.
Number 4, Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay.
That's
April
number
21.
1. That's the best match I've ever seen.
Yeah.
The only reason people like Cody and Roman is because of all the run-ins.
So I would have had Danielson Ospreay at least number 2 then, if not number 1. Feud of the year, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. That's hard to disagree with.
Hangman Swerve.
That's number 2. So this is decent. Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley's number 3.
No.
Mariah May versus Toni Storm 4.
Yes.
Flip-flop them. And I'm fine with it.
Now Toni Storm's got amnesia, but it looks like she's about to get her memories back.
Yeah, because this program she's in sucks.
No, it's great.
Oh, shut
Everyone
up.
loves it besides you, for fuck's sake.
Most popular wrestler of the year. Number 1, Cody Rhodes. Number 2, Jey Uso. Number 3, Joe Hendry.
Yeah, with like 9-year-olds and people who have the brain cells of 9-year-olds.
Number 4, Rhea Ripley.
I mean, just look at your kids, how much they say yeet.
Yeah, they got T-shirts that say it. They're the Yeet Brothers. Most hated wrestler of the year, Dominic Mysterio, just like our awards. Number 2, Solo. Don't look at his ass, Sikoa. Number 3, MJF. 4, Logan Paul.
Well, Logan Paul's just got go-away heat. No one actually, No,
I wouldn't say he has go-away heat. He's a natural heel because he's a cocksucker.
No, he has go-away heat, at least from what I see online.
Oh, he's another one of those fucking crypto scammers.
He had the U.S. title for like 300 days. He defended it once.
Yeah, comeback of the year, Liv Morgan, number 1.
Now, did you see what he said? That he wants to fight, that he wants to box Conor McGregor in India, and he doesn't seem to understand how the wrestling business works. Because he says that he'll go off and do it, and he'll leave the WWE if they don't match the fight purse. Basically, he wants $250 million in cash up front from WWE. That's not how wrestling works.
See you later, dude. Comeback of the year, Liv Morgan.
I mean, maybe.
Number 2, Mercedes Moon.
Yeah.
Number 3, Randy Orton.
Why? Because he's on Venom?
Number 4, The Rock.
Also on Venom.
Most improved wrestler.
Punk's also on Venom, too, if you've seen him.
Yeah, they're all bigger. Most improved wrestler of the year. Number 1, Mariah May.
Yep. Gone
Number
from
2,
debuting gone from basically being an unknown in North America to being arguably the best women's wrestler here.
Number 2, Nia Jax, who Jim Cornette, I think he's stealing from our show.
What did he say?
He called her the human Barca Lounger. I call her the human love, what I call the love seat, right?
What's a Barca Lounger?
It's a fucking recliner. Oba Femi.
That's the guy in NXT.
Dust.
Yeah, that's that guy. The guy who had sex with Tony D'Angelo.
Yeah, with his eyes.
Yeah.
Number 4, Maxine Dupree.
Oh yeah, LA Knight's kayfabe sister that they've never brought up again. The fact that they're related.
Indie Wrestler of the Year. Number 1, Mustafa Ali.
He's been doing a lot of work.
Number 2, Matt Cardona.
He's just shows up everywhere.
He's an asshole. Number 3, Mance Warner.
He's a GCW champion. Speaking of, they're doing a big show at Hammerstein tonight. We got to talk about that too. The card.
Number 4, Allie Catch. Oh, there that is.
I've heard that name.
Inspirational Wrestler of the Year. Number 1, Cody Rhodes.
Danielson should be number 1.
Number 2 is Danielson. Number 3, Sami Zayn. Number 4, Jeff Jarrett.
I put Nigel McGuinness up there. Like his whole comeback where he came out at All In.
We put him on our list.
Yeah. God, Honky Tonk Man is... None of these guys are in shape.
No, they're not. Rookie of the Year, Kalani Jordan.
I remember seeing this thing. I just got to talk about this. I see this joke on Reddit that every wrestler from the 80s came out of the womb at 40. Like, from all the booze and the drugs, that they all look so old.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year. Number 1, Kalani Jordan. Number
NXT.
2, Jada Parker.
NXT.
Number 3, Carmen Petrovic.
NXT.
Number 4, Oleg Bolton.
He's good from what I've seen, but he's not a rookie this year. He's been in New Japan. He's been a young lion.
Fuck you, Baltimore!
If you're dumb enough to buy a new car this weekend,
You're a big enough schmuck to come to Big Bill Hell's Cars!
bad deals,
Cars that break down!
thieves,
If you think you're gonna find a bargain at Big Bill,
you can kiss my ass.
it's our belief that you're such a stupid motherfucker!
You'll fall for this bullshit.
Guaranteed!
If you find a better deal,
Shove it up your ugly ass!
you heard us right.
Shove it up your ugly ass!
Bring your tray.
Bring your title!
Bring your wife.
We'll fuck her!
That's right, we'll fuck your wife.
Because at Big Bill Hell,
You're fucked 6 ways from Sunday.
take a hike
to Big Bill Hell.
home of challenge pissing!
That's right.
Challenge pissing!
How does it work?
If you can piss 6 feet in the air straight up and not get wet,
You get no down payment.
don't wait!
Don't delay.
Don't fuck with us or we'll rip your nuts off!
Only at Big Bill Hell.
The only dealer that tells you to fuck off!
Hurry up, asshole.
This event ends the minute after you write us a check!
And it better not bounce or you're a dead motherfucker.
Go to hell!
Big Bill Hell's Cars.
Baltimore's filthiest
And exclusive home of the meanest sons of bitches in the state of Maryland.
guaranteed!
He's a Kazakhstani amateur wrestler.
Yeah, we're back here. You heard a little pause in the pen. We had a Code Brown upstairs with one of the kids in the bathtub. The parents there know what that's like.
Yeah, and then I was down here playing Time Crisis on the arcade machine.
Highly recommend. Highly recommend.
Oh, I didn't notice you put Kalberton Alawuski up there.
Yeah, that just finishes it off. But anyway, getting back to the WWE news, we got a little bit. Seth Rollins says CM Punk not tough after dipping out in 2014. Says
Mr.
he's stuck
Kayfabe?
with. I don't know. That's
No.
what's good about it, though.
No, well, it's definitely kayfabe. Seth Rollins is Mr. Kayfabe, right?
Yeah, he should be. Says he stuck with the company when it was garbage and he was getting dumped on. Said Punk, basically ran away.
Seth Rollins never got dumped on.
I know he was like anointed, like not too long after that.
Yeah, like he was in his 20s and he was like world champion. That's the thing. People
Yeah,
don't
right
real-
after WrestleMania that year is when the Shield broke up.
Yeah, because people don't realize that Seth Rollins is like barely 40. Or maybe he might not even be 40.
He's 38. We looked it up the last time. He's 38.
Like he's super young for someone who feels like he's been in the business forever.
Yeah. Well, they come in at 18, man.
And again, he got anointed young. It's like the same thing. Like Damian Priest is old. He's like 45.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
I mean, he doesn't look 45, but
He looks. I don't know what he looks like. He looks weird. Period.
a bisexual Undertaker they call him.
What does being bisexual have anything to do with it, though? Is he bisexual?
I don't know. That's what Rhea Ripley called him.
Oh. And finally, in WWE news, Janelle Grant given until January 31st to amend her case against Vince and the WWE. The judge actually denied the WWE McMahon and Laurinaitis the request to move the case to private arbitration. Denied. That motion will be allowed to be renewed.
I bet we're going to learn more about this in a couple weeks too, when Linda has to go in front of Congress. So
that motion, but they'll be allowed to appeal that again though when she files the amendment. So this ain't over yet.
All right, AEW. Talk about some good wrestling.
Yeah.
Ray Phoenix merchandise links removed from AEW.
What do you think about that? Because I hear it sounds like Tony pulled it as punishment for the Penta Raw debut.
I don't know. If WWE did this, no one would fucking care. It just feels like people.
No, they would report it.
Look, of course, billionaires are shitty people. Like, I mean, I just think they should give him his release. But
Who, Phoenix?
yeah, I mean, Tom Pestock was on Twitter. If you know who that is.
Is that Baron Corbin?
He was saying, Phoenix signed the contract.
You should honor it. That was him that said it?
Yeah.
That's because he would be begging to still be signed somewhere right now. You know it. He would be begging.
No, well, Baron Corbin's sitting with me here on the show right now. So
Oh, shut your fucking hole, you whippersnapper. Get my cane and whack you one.
whippersnapper.
But Scott D'Amore spotted backstage at AEW Dynamite. That might be good. Might be good news. What do you think about that?
Good. If they brought him in as the booker, it would help a lot.
He's probably begging for a job. He goes, listen, this Maple Leaf promotion shit, I'm in way over my head. I need money.
Samoa Joe returns. He did. She looked like $1 million. Beat up the patriarchy.
Who's the patriarch? Oh, Christian Cage.
Yeah. Christian Cage, Mother Wayne, Nick Wayne, Luchasaurus, but he's recovering right now.
You mean Killswitch?
Killswitch, excuse me. And now Kip Sabian.
Kip Sabian?
Yeah.
Who the fuck gives two shits about Kip Sabian? Like, what the hell was that? It's like being under a bowling alley in here. It's terrible. Mark Henry says he tried to advise AEW talent till he was blue in the face. Names Dustin Rhodes as a guy the young guys should listen to, but he doesn't own the company, so of course they listen to Tony. Don't you think you should take some direction from these veterans?
Not nearly as much as you do. I think I think 95%.
You're a philosophy major, right?
Yeah.
Imagine.
Don't compare wrestling to academic philosophy.
Oh, please. You can compare wrestling to anything. Look at politics these days. What I'm saying is, if you met Aristotle, like in the flesh, right, you're going to be like, no, Mr. Aristotle. I don't need your advice. What are you, out of your fucking mind?
Well, I mean, I don't agree with him on a lot, so.
Oh my God! You know what?
I mean, I couldn't even talk to him because I don't speak classical Greek. So.
You know what? You know what I'm trying to fucking say here.
I only know some Greek and some Latin. I don't know all of them. Yes, but in wrestling, the thing is that most of these guys, God, it's like fucking hazy in here now. It looks like my college coffee house. The amount of weed that gets smoked in there.
Anyway,
but when a lot of these old guys in the business are just so toxic that.
Like who?
Taker.
Well, I have to admit, I feel a little differently about him due to his political views. Anyway.
JBL.
Yeah, he's another one. I never liked him to begin with. I liked him in the Acolytes. That was the last time I liked him.
I just feel like a lot of these guys think that they know so much shit when they really don't. Disco Inferno, Conan, Bully Ray.
Bully Ray's got quite a lot of room to talk to. He's like possibly... he's one half of possibly the greatest tag team of all time.
Maybe. Okay, him's the... Oh, God, I can see the haze right in front of me.
Dude, it's vapor. It's going to dissipate in a second.
I know, but it's still funny.
Okay. Anywho. Yeah, Taker, I would say, I don't know. But he's another guy that's got a lot of experience.
A lot of these guys were always like, oh, you don't have any respect for the locker room. And like when they would have wrestlers' court and all that bullshit.
That's why you don't like The Undertaker, because the wrestlers' court shit. Don't be lying.
Yeah, well, I think that's awful that ever existed.
Well, you may be right, but it happened.
That's hazing. Like the definition of hazing. Or like when JBL would show up behind guys and sexually assault them in the locker room when they would be showering.
You talking about the Al Snow article?
Well, not just that, but, we've talked about stuff before. JBL would think it was funny to go up behind guys and tuck them while they were showering.
Also, I heard that was Brian Christopher, and I heard he date raped somebody.
Okay, but I've heard that he did that to multiple people, not just Brian
he's a fucking weirdo. All right.
Al Snow, Al Snow told the story where he was in the shower and he fell over because he hurt his hip, and guys just thought it was funny to sodomize him.
Yeah, I gotta admit, it's a bit much.
A bit much? They shoved their fingers up his ass.
Oh, God. I don't know. Guys, some guys are weird, dude. Like, you heard the Roman helmet story I told you? Where one guy was trying to put his fucking dick on the other guy's nose while he was passed out.
God, that's sexual assault.
Oh, my God. It's called I drank too much and I should have locked my bedroom door. No penetration involved.
Well, in this case, there was with the Al Snow thing.
Well, why did he do anything about it?
These guys are terrified.
Oh, God. Anyway,
Because it was expected back then. It was seen as accepted in the locker room that you can just rape each other.
Told you. What did Roddy Piper said WWF stood for? Worldwide Faggots. Malachi Black.
Well, that's because of Pat Patterson at one point.
Well, Pat would have been there when that happened.
Oh, I'm sure Pat did it. We know Pat.
He grabbed my pickle.
No. He grabbed my pickle. Who you gonna tell? Who you gonna tell?
You ain't been around the alphabet in 2 months now, have you?
How you gonna get on TV like that? You got 2 broken arms.
You asshole!
I love Tony Atlas.
Yeah, but he's so like, why would you interview him, dude? He sounds like no offense, but
Mushmouth.
he's like he just came out from like the fields and shit. Malachi Black on way out of AEW. Apparently never got along with the locker room or Tony. Frustrated a lot of people. Black famously is seen behind Punk at Brawl In, too, so they were buddies. He's probably been waiting to leave then.
I remember like reading this one thread about how it's because he's Dutch that like Dutch people are like infamously just mean to non-Dutch people, and of course you know who that made me think of right away.
Phil.
Yes.
Phil's very mean to non-Dutch people.
Dyke House. Crack House.
Anyway.
Is that Jesse Ventura?
Yeah, that's Jesse Ventura, which I wanted to say something. We're airing this on Friday. Tomorrow night is Saturday night's main event.
Again, even though they just fucking had one.
I know, but is Jesse going to be there?
Yes.
Because Hogan's supposed to be there.
I hope they get into a fight.
Why the fuck? Why would you ever bring Hogan back again? Because now it's cool to boo him.
Yeah. Well, because God, every time I just see that Trump banner, and I know this is in the 80s, but I just can't help but feel acid reflex. But
yeah, look at the shape Jess was in back then.
He's actually in good shape.
He was back. This is when he was in Predator, and he was in a lot of movies.
Yeah, he got killed in Predator. He's one of the first guys that gets killed.
Yeah. Strap this on your sorry ass blade.
But then, like with Hogan, I bet you he's just going to come out and do the same speech he's been doing for every single appearance.
Let me tell you something, brothers.
I've had some great partners in my day, like the Macho Man Randy Savage. Even though him and Macho Man, didn't Macho Man hate him?
Yeah, I think he accused him and Linda of turning Liz against him. But Randy was legit crazy. Did you ever hear the stories about when they were running ICW in Kentucky? They said his apartment, I think him and like Rip Rogers lived with each other or something. And all he had was a weight bench. He was like so cheap. They would like eat, he would get food out of the garbage. Like he was the cheapest son of a bitch you ever met.
Do you ever hear the conspiracy theory that he had like an affair with like a
14-year-old Stephanie?
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know if there's any teeth to that at all.
One-man gang before he was Akeem the African Dream.
Yeah, they turned him into a black person.
Did they have like a ceremony?
Yeah, it was like some kind of like shaman.
Whatever. Fucking idiot.
That's so mean. AEW tried to keep their pay-per-view dates under wraps. They announced World's End 8 months in advance, and WWE ran a house show opposite in the same town.
That's like Raw and Nitro running back to back in Norfolk when they did that.
That was funny.
Mr. Bischoff!
Grand Slam Australia will be going head-to-head with Saturday night's main event this weekend. Tomorrow night from this recording, I imagine, right?
Yeah, but we still have I don't know. Grand Slam Australia has been a logistical nightmare.
Yeah, because didn't they move it indoors because they couldn't sell tickets?
Yeah, but that's because also a lot of people think that they're just jumping the gun with doing a show in Australia compared to doing a show in the UK. Because AEW has a much bigger fan base. In Europe.
About in 2019, 2020, Australia was on fire, dude. The last thing they're thinking about doing is fucking watching wrestling.
I don't know. I guess they
God
think
bless
if they have
those people.
if they have Tony Storm and Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis and Buddy Matthews, they have all the Australian stars that people will watch. But
maybe.
No, Mark Davis is probably just going to be on the pre-show.
Mark Davis. Does he even wrestle anymore?
Yeah, he came out once looking like a homeless person. And talking to Kyle Fletcher like, hey man, what are you doing? Being better than you, obviously.
Soraya asks,
I guess he ended up being the Jannetty, huh?
Who?
Mark Davis.
Yeah, well, look at him. Who didn't see that coming? Soraya asked for time off from AEW.
She hasn't been here in months.
That's what I said. How do you take time off from doing nothing? Did she make like a wrong phone call or something? Her other job, a porn actress, whatever she does.
God, that's not funny.
It's not funny, but she did it. Tony Khan has benched several stars until their contracts are up. Ricky Starks, Ray Phoenix, Miro, and Malachi Black. They will be off television.
Well, when I know people like Miro just like refuse to work with creative. Ricky Starks, I mean, he causes so much trouble. Like, he causes so much drama. To be honest,
what does he cause drama? Nobody's seen him in like a fucking year. Since
but he posts on social media all the time about shit, saying all this cryptic shit, and just all the stuff about him out there.
Don't you think, like,
to be honest,
when Punk went away, that was like the end of him almost?
What?
Like when Punk left, because he was going to do a program with him, remember?
No,
and then they put Danielson in, and it wasn't the same.
Yeah, but they still had a good match.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, you couldn't, like, there wasn't, like, the animosity.
When they put him in a tag team with Big Bill, and they made him tag champion, apparently Ricky Starks didn't want that either, and he just refused to work after a certain point.
Well, you know what? Tony gives these guys control. He gives them too much control.
I mean,
he deserves what he gets.
Like, if I booked him in a match, I'd be worried that he'd start shooting.
Yeah, but dude, that's when you put him in there with somebody you know can shoot back on him. Like Jim Cornette famously said, where they said Brett wouldn't drop the belt, and Jim Cornette's like, put a fucking Shamrock in there with him. He'll get it done. And he goes, but he wouldn't have done it anyway because they were friends. And
I don't know, like, put him in there with, like, Samoa Joe or Moxley or
Moxley. Why do you think Moxley's a shooter?
Have you seen the shape he's in?
It doesn't mean he's a fucking shooter.
I bet you Joe's a shooter.
Sure. All right, let's talk about
Let's
talk about Maximum Carnage here for a little bit.
Do the music.
Christopher Daniels officially retired.
Now, I did not watch this Collision episode yet. I'm going to watch this when I get home.
Bring up the card, and maybe we can talk about it again. But bring up the card.
I really don't feel like it right now. But the two biggest things that happened. Well, the three big things. We had Toni Storm give an interview about how excited she is to be back in her home country and have her first world title challenge against someone that she idolizes so much in Mariah May.
Oh my God! I guess it's an interesting way of keeping this program going, but
everyone else thinks it's great. Great character work.
Who is this? Everyone else?
Everyone else on the internet. Everyone else in the IWC.
On the internet, IWC. Twats.
And where we had Christopher Daniels' last match against Hangman. He was murdered.
Was like he's actually dead? They actually did it? You got what you wanted?
No, sadly not. I still have not seen a man die in the ring, but I saw one spot from it. It was a Texas death match. Basically, it was just the whole match. Sadly not. Danielson was not there. Daniels could barely do anything. It was just Hangman torturing him. There was this one part I saw called Hangman is really into hardcore dental flossing. Hangman took barbed wire, put it up against Daniel's gums, and yanked back.
Hangman would have been good in the late 90s against Mick Foley. Oh my God, They would have been a match made in heaven.
Hangman is like an amazing hardcore wrestler. But then he also did this thing where he started using his opponent's finishers against them. Like he did the swerve stomp on Daniels. They did that thing again where, remember at All Out after their cage match, Hangman just like walked away. They did the thing where he went up on the ramp. Well, here he went up on the ramp. He looked back and he went back after the match was over, and he hit Daniels with an amazing-looking angel's wings.
Ooh.
So a lot of people were hoping Hangman starts using that as one of his finishers. Hopefully, it looks better than the Deadeye.
Deadeye, yeah. Well, no, that has to do with the actual production of it too. You have to know how to shoot the moves. Like I said, the one side that night did a beautiful job. The other side,
buckshot lariat though always looks great.
Well, yeah, because you're not looking at it like it's the same way. You gotta like You're trying to drop a guy on. You're not trying to not drop a guy on his head while making it look like you are dropping on his head while you're not looking at it.
I mean, yeah. That's
so
the
it's
big
not
thing.
easy. So you need help from the camera guy.
That's the biggest thing. You're not looking at him.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You need help from who's filming it.
Okay, now let me get the cards up for some upcoming shows.
All right. Well, you want to preview? I mean, we could. What's up with TNA tonight?
I'm bringing the cards up. Will you
calm down?
I'm trying to get the squared circle Reddit up for the GCW
I can't believe
card.
Man bought me this fucking arcade game. Can you believe that shit?
Well, you are the favorite son.
I'm the only son. You know who my favorite is upstairs? None of them. The two older ones say it's the baby, but
I mean, let's see here. I'm trying to find the.
It's all right.
I'm getting the GCW card up. Here we go. Tom Pestock. If you sign a contract, you honor it. Would it have been okay if Tony didn't pay him while he was hurt or out of action? The answer is no, because Tony signed the contract as well. You can't switch teams after getting what you want and signing the contract. Here we go. The GCW, the People versus GCW at the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Oh, God.
NYC OGS versus Real Effin' Bros.
Who the fuck are they?
I'm just reading the card to you.
All right.
Los Desperados versus Super Crazy Tajiri and Little Guido.
Oh, my God. That's only because they're at Hammerstein.
Steel cage match.
They're each getting like $50.
Charles Mason versus Richard Holiday.
No idea.
Bloodsport match. Josh Barnett versus Tom Pestock. I kind of want to see that.
Baron Corbin?
Yeah, versus Josh Barnett.
He has to do a blood sport match?
Against Josh Barnett.
To feed his family, probably. Probably getting $100.
Matt Cardona versus mystery opponent. Joey Janela versus Masato Tanaka.
I hope Masato Tanaka puts him in the fucking hospital.
Did you know he's only 51? He's younger than Jericho.
Masato?
He's younger than Jericho and Christopher Daniels, yeah. It's why he still works. Again, he still works. I saw him do a match a couple years ago. He was still taking chair shots. You could see all the scar tissue on his head. It looks like Abdullah the Butcher. Megan Bain versus Atticus Cogar. Megan Bain, who's apparently close to signing with AEW. Then we have a doors, ladders, and chairs match for the unified GCW Ultra Violent and Extreme Championships. Maki Ito versus Trevor Murdoch versus Parker versus Miya Yamashita versus Kirk versus Redacted versus Matthew Justice versus Tremont.
What?
I'm reading the card to you. What? Some of these people only have their last names up there.
But what kind of match was that?
Doors, ladders, and chairs.
How many people?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7?
8. Wait. 6. Yeah, 8.
Jesus Christ. Sounds like garbage.
It's GCW.
Yeah, garbage championship wrestling.
El Hijo del Vikingo versus Sidney Akeem.
That might be a good match. I don't know who the other guy is, but
Violence is Forever versus Garbage Daddies.
Garbage Daddies?
It's their name. GAHBAG Daddies. And then we have Effie versus Ali Ketch to determine who will challenge Mance Warner in the next match for the GCW World Championship. Now, let's finish up with Genesis.
That's what tonight is?
Yes. I thought it was last night. I thought it was last night. I'm sorry for making you think that.
That's all right. I couldn't find the feed anyway, and I'm not going out of my way to find fucking tits and ass wrestling fucking feeds.
Frankie Kazarian versus Leon Slater is on the pre-show. Moose, who's the X Division champion, defends the title against Ace Austin. Spitfire, Jody Threat and Danny Luna versus Walmart, Timeless Tony Storm, Ash by Elegance, and Heather by Elegance with the personal concierge.
Who is Heather by Elegance?
I don't know.
Who was she? Do we know who she was?
I don't know. She doesn't have a hyperlink. I can't click anything.
So we don't know who she was. Yeah.
Josh Alexander versus Mike Santana in an I Quit match.
Yeah, they should both quit.
The System, Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers versus Eric Young and Steve Macklin.
That'd be okay.
The Hardys, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy versus the team that always looks like they need a bath. The Rascals, Trey Miguel and Zachary Wentz.
Yeah, no interest.
Jordan Grace versus Tessa Blanchard.
Oh.
In the match graphics, Jordan looks like she could eat Tessa.
Yeah, well.
Tessa looks like the shit she takes in the morning.
Hey-o.
But also, Jordan takes a lot of steroids, so...
Yeah, I bet you she shits a lot, too.
Yeah. Masha Slamovich versus Rosemary in a Clockwork Orange House of Fun match for the TNA Knockouts World Championship.
Huh.
Abyss used to do those.
Yeah.
Because Rosemary and Abyss, they used to be...
Orange match was Raven.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
They used to be in the Decay, which was Crazy Steve, Rosemary, and Abyss. And then the main event, Nick Nemeth defends the TNA World Championship versus Joe Hendry.
It's not a bad card.
Yeah, I mean, JBL is going to show up at some point.
I hope not.
He's been showing up at like every single indie show.
We need to at least do Joe Hendry versus Drew McIntyre at Clash at the Castle. We at least need to do that.
So that we can have I'm Drew, da-ba-dee, da-ba-die.
Oh my God, it'd be so great.
I live in a Drew house with a Drew window.
And all he has to do is put up the window. They would license it from ICW.
Don't you dare play that video.
Roll the footage. He is something though, man.
Boom, boom, boom. Jack Jester's in my room.
I'm calling the policeman. I hope they'll get here soon.
Yeah, I know, but in TNA, it feels like they've kind of botched his momentum recently.
Oh.
Like the last couple months.
Local hero Joe Hendry is the best Joe Hendry there from ICW.
Yeah, I know, because in TNA, they just keep having him lose to Nick Nemeth. This is like the fourth time they're facing off in the last 2 years for the world title.
Well, I guess that's...
Wait, we got to finish this off with, you know what we got to do? Nick Nemeth! Most wanted man!
Stinks in his face! With face kicked in!
Fight stinks! All right.
Sign off! Good night, everybody.
Get your hand off my penis!